Welcome to Biblical Studies Today, instructional videos. I want to think with you about Greek grammar and pneumatology in Romans 8. There's a use of aŭtos, the third person personal pronoun, he, she, or it, that is also adjectival and can be an intensive. And that's what we see a few times in Romans 8 with theological implications and reference here. Verse 16, we begin in this section here, beginning in verse 12 in the context. And let's pick it up in verse 16. Ugar elabete pneuma douleas palin eis phobon al elabete pneuma huiathesias. And ho kradzaman abba ha pater. We've received not the spirit of slavery, but the spirit of sonship. Now, verse 16, we begin with aŭta as this adjectival intensive. Aŭta ta pneuma sumarture to pneumati hemon hati esmen tekna theu. The Spirit himself testifies together with our spirit that we are God's children. It's this use of aŭtos right here that is superfluous. It's not needed. We say the Spirit testifies together with our spirit, but it's the Spirit himself and that adjectival intensive use. The Spirit is doing this. And we see that this adjectival use of aŭtos is not just in reference to the Spirit, but in reference to creation also, verse 21. But even in the context of Romans 8, this use of aŭtos, modifying he katesis, serves to accentuate the role of the Spirit. Let's notice the context, verse 21. Hati kai aute he katesis eleutherothesetai apates douleas tes thoros estain eleutherion tes doxes ton teknon to theu. We see this teknon again, children of God. Here we are, that also the creation will be liberated. So here's our subject, he katesis. Aute is not needed. Again, it's superfluous, and that's bringing a sense of intensity to creation. This is that adjectival intensive use of aŭtos. The creation itself will be set free from the bondage of decay, again, into the glorious freedom of God's children. We come back then to uses of aŭtos that relate to we as God's children and the work of the Spirit and the Spirit's intercession for us, intercession with our spirit and helping us. We pick it up in the context, verse 23. Umanonde, Allah kai aŭtoi tein aparkein tu pneumatos akontes, Chemes kai aŭtoi en he aŭtois, stenazaman huiathesion apek dekamenoi, tein apalutrosin tu somatos hemon. Not only this, but we ourselves. Here's the we ourselves, we in ourselves, we are groaning. Here's the eschatological situation of God's children suffering, but we see that we are not alone. We come down to verse 26. Chos autos de kai ta pneuma sun antilambanatai, te asthenea hemon ta gar ti prosuxomatha katho de uk oidamen, all but aŭta ta pneuma huperintu kane stenegmois alaletos. In the same way, the Spirit helps in our weakness. Here he's helping us in our weakness. We don't know, prosuxomatha, what we're to pray. We just don't know that. But the Spirit himself intercedes for us. It's the Spirit himself who does this. This is the intensive use of aŭtos. The Spirit himself, he intercedes for us according to the will of God, and he does this with unexpressible groanings. Here is the Spirit's help in our weakness in Romans 8, an intensive use of aŭtos to accentuate the work of the Spirit. For more instructional videos, go to biblicalstudiestoday.com. For more information on Greek grammar and theology, go to mbts.edu and study with us.